Mic on. All right. So, good morning to everybody who is on the live, and good morning to you too as well. You're there for both sessions or just one? Both. All right. Cool. If we need to order lunch, we have to do so early. Right. I'm gonna mute myself. All right. Kenil Caesar. Hey. Good day. Good day. Kenil. How are you? All right, so today we're doing the 2018 paper. Like I said, we're going to try to breeze through as quickly as possible and discuss some things. Once again, full disclosure, I'm a little rusty with some of the PoB stuff. Things are a little stuck in places. So if you guys have your notes ready, if you guys have your textbooks ready, please feel free. Right? We could always Google stuff. I have about 6 textbooks. But to be honest, I don't like any of the textbooks. I find they all...
Oh, no, I don't need a...
What's that?
I don't need a...
Yeah. Yeah, I just find your textbooks are just, don't get me wrong, the information is valuable, it's just the way they present it. I'm pretty sure there are people who like the way things are presented and like how it is. I just don't. Yeah, but that don't mean it's gonna work. But I hope it does. I hope there are people out there who get benefit and value from the textbooks, to be honest, because I'm hoping that not everybody is like me and don't like those things. Don't get me wrong, I have some textbooks I like, yeah? I have some textbooks I've used over the past years that I have enjoyed using, and others that my experience with just wasn't the same. It just wasn't as, I don't know, friendly. Maybe it was the topic itself, I'm not sure. Anyhow, so anybody in your life have any similar experiences doing like reading textbooks, find it kind of hard to understand, right? Hit my comment. All right. So without further ado, let's starting, right? So define the term organizational chart. So you all know what an org chart is?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we get a little org chart. All right, so let's do that. Org chart, let's do images. All right, so yeah, so all of these things here look like organizational charts.
There's just a role of people and who is on top of who. Yeah.
Let me see. Right. Cool. Right, so yeah, so at the top here, you can see CEO Paul Smith, boy. All right. I knew a guy called Paul Smith once. All right. Now, so like you were saying, what are you seeing here? You're seeing people in the organization. Who's at the top? Well, in this case, it's not the owner, actually, it's the president. But you are correct. In a lot of cases, the owners are at the top.
But in that case, the president is the owner.
That's a good question. He may or may not be. Or maybe you have a point. This may be an incomplete organizational chart, right? So, but long story short, what we are seeing here, like I said, is their roles, their positions, their things, right? So, first things first, is this a bunch of words or is it a diagram? So let's start it. Hold on, let me open my file. So an organizational chart is a diagram. And a diagram is a picture. And as I say, a picture paints 1,000 words. Yeah, let me hear. There's no one right answer, by the way. You can articulate this in different ways.
Pictorial illustration.
A pictorial illustration. All right, okay, go ahead.
Representation of the structure of an organization.
Of the structure of an organization. Okay, that's an important piece to have there. So it's a diagram that shows the management structure. I think that is very succinct, right? Haneka, what about you? Have any different articulation for us? Basically the same thing. All right, cool. Was that sorry? Oh, got it from the textbook. Okay. Well, my articulation, now once again, there's no one right answer because there's no one right definition, right? But the elements that have to be there for it to be correct. So an org chart is a diagram that shows the, hold on, I don't want to use the same words that your textbook used, right? So it shows the hierarchy, right? Of what? Hierarchy of authority, right? In a business entity, an entity, in a company, in an organization. All right. In other words, Aaron Albert, good day, Aaron. How are you doing? In other words, it shows the different positions, and there's another word, COC, chain of something, chain of command. All right. So I think that's worth 2 marks, right? Of course, once again, it's not a perfect definition, and there are other ones that you can use that are all equally valid. All right. So word is telling me to put a comma here, so let's put a comma there. All right, cool. Everybody okay with the definition?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go again. So that was part 1. Okay, so let me just put that properly there. All right, let's go back here. State 2 rules that should be followed when constructing organizational charts. Right, that one I don't know offhand, to be honest. 2 rules. Start from the highest and go to the lowest. So start from, you can do a top-down organizational chart. What else? I don't want to be generic and say it must be drawn neatly. No, I mean, have arrows indicating the what? The direction or the flow of authority. I mean, if you're doing top down, I mean that's kind of self-explanatory. But I mean, maybe. Yeah, arrows. Okay. What are the arrows supposed to show?
Employees to the respective jobs. So like, you can put a CEO as an actual employee. So you put a name on it.
Put a name under it. All right. Okay. So 2 rules that should be followed when constructing organizational charts. So let's see what Google has to say. All right. So like I said, some of these things that they ask here, sometimes I don't know. Honestly, I make an educated guess based on what I know. So rules for constructing organizational charts. Simple organizational chart. There you go. Format the chart within a single page. Group people with same title into one box. Make all boxes same size. Show assistance. Put the title of the position first, then the name occupying it. Now that has to do with drawing it. I wonder if there's another one more. What was that? Sorry. Alright, cool. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I saw everybody dogs walking outside, but yeah, they have some action going on outside with a car. Alright, so now my neighbor who lives behind me, apparently his car has decided it isn't going to make that slight drive up the hill to get into the next driveway. So he's parked it outside. Yeah, that's the blue car outside, and my brother's dog has decidedly taken a very fixed position against the existence of my neighbor and his truck. Right, so anytime he comes out anyhow. So 2 rules for constructing organizational charts. All right. So what did we see again? We saw a few things there. Format the chart to fit in a single page. I think that's a generic rule. I mean, we could group people with same title in the same box. Make all boxes the same size. Space them evenly. Show assistance. Hold on, that's 10 tips for perfect org charts. What was the other one? Rules for formatting. No, it's not formatting I want.
Constructing formatting.
An org chart is a chart which represents the structure of an organization as a rank. So that's kind of what we said, right? Managers and sub-workers who make up
direct relation, wait.
Right.
Line and direct relationship between CPU and subordinate.
Alright. So to make sure to effectively show all the relationships.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. So let's do that, right? So names of positions should be shown. Hold on, 1 second. Let me just make sure everything is alright. Shown before names of the persons occupying. Okay. Occupying the positions. I wonder if I could just do. Sorry. Right. Okay. So that's all. What was the other one you said you wanted to put? Be sure to show all line and staff relationships. Be sure to clearly illustrate or show all line relationships. I guess you could say all relationships. Alright. Line and staff. Let's just check what Google had again. Line, staff, functional, right? Line, lateral, staff, functional. Okay, cool. What? Behave yourself. Come on, man. Embarrass him up. Right. Line, staff, lateral, functional, etc. All right. Okay. How are you feeling so far? Yeah? All right. So let's take a look at the next part of the question. Construct a simple line organizational chart showing 3 levels and 3 positions for a small private limited company.
It's pretty basic.
Yeah.
Employee.
3 levels and 3 positions for a small limited company. What's that, sorry?
Owner.
Right, so you could have the owner and owner/CEO. What else?
Manager.
Well, when they said a small private limited company, now you could have a board. I'm not gonna deny that. You can have a board, but the board is usually on behalf of the shareholders in a public limited company. So technically, shareholders would be the board in a private. But it's not to say that they can't hire a board and have someone running for them. All right. So you could have shareholders board, but it's a small private. So shareholders.
Employee, manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, employee, manager, and owner.
So owner, manager, employee. All right. Okay. Cool. So we can do that too. So let's see what smart I could get here. So let's go. All right. So insert. Am I bound to pull all this stuff, boy? Smart out. All right. So what do I want to put? This process hierarchy. That's the one. All right. With a simple 3 levels, boy. Organization chart.
Chris, you think they're gonna go with the graphics, huh?
I honestly don't know. All right, type your text there. So this could be. Shareholders. Right. This one could be managers. Take for that one. And employees. Right, so if you zoom out a little bit.
We should like give everybody a 2 and just
Shareholder, manager, employee.
I think you always do something, yeah. I think you always do something, yeah.
Alright, so no, so we want that to be there. We want that to be there. Alright, okay, I'm okay with that. Let's go to the next page, shall we? Alright, so let's see what else they wanted. So after you draw your org chart, there's 3 duties of a personnel or human resource manager. So personnel or human resources mean the same thing, right? What do you think the human resource manager does? And they said list so that you don't have to over-explain. You just have to state what those particular things are.
Complaints from the employees. Or
Take complaints.
or opinions.
Take complaints or opinions, okay. Sorry, what?
All working conditions, they make sure.
Make sure that they have adequate and satisfactory working conditions. Okay. All right. So I think those are good ones. So let's jot them down now.
Safety.
Well, working conditions and safety kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
I don't think I would necessarily separate them unless I had a specific way to do that. I just think they're very close. But once again, that's my opinion, right? They could very well be able to separate them very well. So there's 3 duties of a personnel manager. He hires or fires, provide training. Yes, I like all that. All right. So from what I remember from when I did HR and HR, well, I mean, I was gonna say that was one of the primary things you should be thinking about, right? The human resource department is responsible for attracting, developing, and maintaining the human resource of an organization. To attract means to get people to apply for the job and to hire them, right? To develop means, as somebody said here, to provide training for the workers, right? And of course, maintain means to make sure, like you guys said, that they are happy in their job. You could listen to their complaints. You could, what was the other one you said? Annika, you said something? What was the other one you said? Yeah. I don't know about ethical working conditions, but satisfactory working conditions. Attend staff welfare. Yeah, I like all that stuff. All right, cool. So let's put that, right? So three duties of a human, right? Human resource manager are, three duties are, right? So what we could have, so we said to hire and fire. Let's, right, to hire the best workers for the organization. What's the next one? We said to retrain, to train, to provide, to identify training needs and provide training opportunities, and to, someone said to attend to staff welfare, which means ensure right, proper working conditions, listen to grievances. Did I spell that right? Yeah, grievances, etc. All right, attend staff welfare. All right. Okay. Anybody want to add anything else? I think we covered attract, develop, and maintain, but it's always good to kind of to jog the brain to see if you know anything else. I think you all ever watch Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
All right. You all know there's this there's a human resource person working in the university with them who they often go by. Is that dark skin? Yeah, the dark lady, Robin something. I can't remember what her character's name is in the show, but she often has to make sure that they, like, for example, Sheldon. We know Sheldon is kind of antisocial, or maybe not overly emotionally intelligent per se, so he often rubs people the wrong way. So she has to make sure he apologizes and maybe takes courses to sensitize him to that kind of stuff, right? So another thing an HR manager may have to do is to develop, well, we have training and retraining here, but maybe sensitization issues regarding, for example, sexual harassment and that kind of stuff, because that's not training per se in terms of skills, right? All right. Now touchdown, Faith. Good morning. Sorry, employee relationships.
Well,
Okay. To develop and implement the programs to sensitize, setting criteria to determine promotion. That's a nice one too, right? So Gregory said setting criteria to determine promotion. I agree with that. To develop and implement programs to sensitize workers to such matters as sexual harassment. Harass is one R, right? Harassment. Was this thing everybody kind of on a kick now, making sure the environment, recycling, that kind of stuff. So recycling policies. All right, and I like what Gregory said, setting criteria to determine promotion / advancement in the organization. All right, I like what we have so far. Okay, let's go again. So from there now, we have suggest 3 potential causes of conflict within an organization. All right, so first of all, what is conflict?
A difference between opinions between two people.
A difference in opinions is conflict. I don't think that could cause conflict, so that could actually be one of the answers. But what is conflict itself? When someone has an issue with somebody else, okay. I think Kevin today, harassment, wrong salaries, not taking solution from workers, working conditions, poor communication. All those are the causes. All right, cool. So right.
Wow.
Right. No, but you guys are on the money, yeah? These are potential causes, right? My first question though was, what is conflict? Right? Conflict stems from, for example, it's always interaction, right? Something pisses off somebody, and then they get vexed or they get resentful, and it comes out when people are talking to each other and they start to shout or whatever the case is, right? So conflict is basically negative and perhaps even dangerous interactions, right? Business change is actually a good one too, right? So what could cause these negative interactions, right? You have, what's that?
Gossip.
Gossip is one, yes. All right, cool. So, I'm still looking for a good definition of conflict, yeah? So, three potential, it was 3 or 4?
3.
All right, well, we'll list a good bit, right? So, 3 potential causes of conflict, right? All right, so a disagreement between 2 or more parties, Kiyomi. I like that one, a disagreement. A disagreement could lead to conflict. Is the disagreement itself conflict? Not necessarily, because you could disagree. You ever heard the phrase, you could agree to disagree? Right? So let's say, for example, you might say, you find Avengers Endgame was rubbish. And I'll be like, well, no, I find it was one of the best movies ever.
Obviously not.
Right? Well, right. We just an example. So we could disagree on something, but that doesn't necessarily lead to conflict. The conflict would be, for example, if we decide we're going to fight over that, right? So the negative interaction or potentially harmful interaction, that's what the conflict is. It's something that prevents the organization from functioning effectively, right? But yeah.
A physical interference between 2.
Physical. Does it have to be physical? Well, not necessarily. The conflict, a breakdown in communication could be caused by conflict, All right. Well, let's just jot these things down and get them out. Right. So 3 potential causes of conflict. So somebody said gossip and rumor spreading. Somebody said miscommunication. I feel like that's a little incomplete. They just said to identify, suggest 3 causes. Okay, they didn't say to explain. And it's 3 marks, so it's like a mark each, right? All right, so like what I have, poor communication, business change, as in changes in processes, mergers, layoffs, new technology. All right, because all these things, because in some cases technology might cause workers to lose their jobs, right? And that could cause conflict. Discrimination, I like that one. Discrimination, lack of perceived equity in rewards. All right, let me explain that one. Why keep putting Q? All right, so they asked for 3, we get them 4. Right, business working conditions could be one too, man. I'm not ignoring you. I didn't mean to make it seem like that. Sorry about that. All right. So, if for example, let's say you all were in school, right, and you all got your reports or whatever, and you scored, let's say 90, which is the highest in the class, and somebody else scored 85, but that person is going to go teacher's pet, and you and the teacher never really had a good relationship per se. Yeah, I have a cousin inside studying some stuff, right? So what I was saying, right? So if you find teachers, spending too much time praising that person who scored less than you, when you scored more than that person, and it was an improvement for you, you could very well feel kind of slighted, right? Treated unfairly, and that your interaction with the teacher might not be very good going forward. So that is also a potential cause of conflict, right? So I do like that one, right? So if you and somebody else put in the same amount of work and achieve the same results, you all should be treated fairly and rewarded equally, all right? Okay. Let's get back to the question here. Explain 2 strategies that could be used to resolve conflict within an organization. Now explain, and it's 6 marks. So you have to have your 2 strategies, right? So the identification of each strategy is probably a mark, and the explanation that follows that strategy would be the 2 marks. All right, okay, so what we could do is we could look at our potential causes of conflict and see how we could resolve those. What is a strategy for resolving that, right? So let me just, annual retreat, open door policy. All right, I like that one. Oh, so this one actually, right, so everything here has to actually be sent to the side. Right, cool. So this is also actually part 2. All right, cool. All right, recognition for work done. All right, so strategies. So 2 strategies for resolving. Now, to resolve means to solve the conflict, right? So resolving conflict are. All right, so the first strategy. Right, so I see in recognition for work done, advancement on the job. So we could kind of combine those two and talk about this perceived, right, rewards. A mirror. Oh, I like that one. Arbitration, right? Anybody want to know what arbitration is or knows what arbitration is?
That's one good answer.
Yeah. Or for the potential cause of conflict?
No.
For the strategy?
Strategies for resolving.
Yeah.
Being able to come to.
Like a compromise?
Yes.
Right, so the arbitration could lead to that, right? So let's start with arbitration, right? So arbitration, right? Or mediation with an impartial third party. Right? So this is where someone, right, using a third party to find a solution that the two parties must accept. Okay, good, right. This is where someone external to the conflict, or a neutral party, listens to both sides of the conflict and comes to a decision that both parties works with both parties to come to a solution that they both find acceptable. Right, so that's the mediation part of it. The arbitration, I think the arbitration is what Kiyomi is saying. She was saying that's more like a judgment being passed by like a higher up. So let's say, for example, you and somebody in the class fighting and the dean passed by, and you'll explain to the dean both of your sides, and the dean find both all wrong and say, hey, neither you all right, this is what's gonna happen. Or he or she might find, okay, look, maybe you have a point, but this fighting had to stop, so this is what's gonna happen. Right? So you mightn't fully agree, but because the dean says so, it had to happen, right? So that's like a kind of worst case scenario per se, right? So the mediation, which could eventually lead to arbitration, right? So someone external to the conflict or a neutral party. So, and it has to be important. It is very important that both parties to the conflict see this third party as neutral, right? Because they can't say, okay, well, you have a dog in the race, right? Because then they will say, well, if any judgment you make, I as far as I'm concerned, is biased, and it wasn't a fair process, right? So the only thing I would add to your definition, Kiyomi, is an impartial third party or a neutral third party. All right, but it is correct. I'm not saying it wrong. I'm just trying to enhance it a little bit, right? Right. Okay, cool. So I see in arbitration, advancement, recognition for within mediation. So I kind of combine a mirror. Well, Mira said mediation and arbitration. Kiyomi give a definition. All right. So we still need one more, and I would like a third one just to kind of exercise the brain. Yeah, okay, you go ahead. All right, so our next strategy
is compromise still on the answer, though?
I think both parties could sit down and talk about it and reach a compromise. Okay, is that different from the mediation arbitration? It didn't involve a third party. Okay, all right. So conciliation, is that what it's called? Sorry. Grievance procedures. Okay, so if there's a procedure for following to air your grievance and to get it sorted out. All right, cool. So conciliation. So Kim, you want to elaborate about conciliation? Let's see what Google has to say. All right. Once again, I'm not saying it wrong. I just Googling for everybody else who want to find out. Right. So conciliation. So is that like reconciliation? The act of stopping someone being angry. Placation. Right? He held his hands up in a gesture of conciliation. The act of mediating between two disputing people or groups. All right. Collective bargaining. All right. So something I want to see. So I see on the live, she says conciliation, collective bargaining. So collective bargaining is where you have like two, is it the unions or the union and management coming together to to talk, right?
Yeah.
But in all of these things, the common thread is communication, right? To me, there's only one real way to overcome conflict: to communicate, and of course, from that, both parties have to compromise somehow, right? From the time you force one party to accept something the other one, that he or she or that group of people doesn't want, you're still going to have resentment, which will not necessarily solve the conflict on a permanent or sustainable basis, right? So, okay, but let's go with collective bargaining, because that one is a slightly different one, because the arbitration and mediation could be with two employees per se, right? But the collective bargaining could be between employees as a whole and management. So I like that one. I like we got two different dimensions. So collective bargaining, a Casper bargaining, boy, good. All right. So this is where the union representing the workers, or just the workers union, and the management of the company. Can striking be one, or this may just lead to more conflict? Selena, that's a very good question, you know, Selena. I think on an econ, they strike outside. I think striking, it could potentially lead to more conflict, but it could also lead to sit down and talk, right? Because you see, striking is a way to let people know that a problem exists in the first place. Because if people don't know a problem exists, they don't know a problem exists. There's no problem, there's no conflict, everything is good. But if you let them know, hey, something is wrong, and you take a drastic action, like for example, when in the States with all those school shootings, and there was something on a Thursday, I think it was a Thursday, all the students walked out of class on a Thursday or whatever, or they all ducked school to go to whatever Supreme Court, not the Supreme Court, but some court downtown or whatever, right? That's a way to let people know, hey, something is wrong. You know, you're all selling guns a bit too easily, people coming and killing people, you know? So we don't want that. So striking is not a bad answer, it's a good answer. You just have to pair it with striking as a precursor to sit down and talk, all right?
Strategies will be implied by human resources, huh?
The strategies will be implemented by human resources?
Well, to resolve them.
Well, the HR department can play a part in it. I don't see that they will be totally left out, because conflict is between people, and the HR department is responsible for the people, right? So I think that they would have some part to play, if not a major part to play. All right. So let's just finish this definition of collective bargaining. So this is where union representing workers and the management company, right? Meet and discuss the workers' issues and try to reach a compromise that both parties, or with which both parties are happy, that both parties agree upon. Agree with. All right. Sorry. All right. All right. Anybody want to add anything to that? Anybody want to point out any mistakes or start a conflict? Okay, let's not start a conflict. We could start a dialogue, right? But like I said, a lot of times there's no one right answer, and even the right answer could be picked apart in certain ways, right? Cough drop. They talk to the head of the employees on the employee's behalf. Yes, I agree with that. Right? So the collective bargaining, right? So the union representing workers talks to the management on the employee's behalf. Right, okay. Okay, so let's see, is that all of question one then? Do logistics. We're talking about like what's that, supply chain logistics?
Yeah.
Alright, well when we get there, like I said, I'm just going through our paper today. Alright. What's that, logistics? Well, we'll take a look at the syllabus and see what it's saying, and we could always Google some stuff. Because to me logistics, that's just supply chain, so that's under marketing, right? So that, I mean, it's just choosing the correct supply chain or the correct way to get your goods to the consumers. All right. Wholesale to retail. All right, we can take a look. I'll see what I have. All right, two-part A. Michelle invented a unique household product and wants to start her own business. List 4 characteristics she should display as an entrepreneur. So you just do long paper alone for the live. Amira, yes. I will. I mean, you guys could ask questions about certain things, and I'll try my best to answer them. But yeah, my plan was to do a paper. Sorry, what?
You really need to study
No, I guess she's asking if I'm going to tackle specific topics as opposed to the multiple choice, now, which I guess I could do. But like I said, I was just trying to give a structure to the day's proceedings and not try to be all over the place, you know. So, but yeah, you guys can jot them down. I have a part of the side here that I can write down your requests with, and we'll try to get to them one by one. But I can't promise I'll get to everybody's one, right? Okay, so somebody said logistics, which is supply chain management. I have no idea why I wrote here. I'm writing like a doctor. And I definitely don't have no PhD. What is it? Oh, that's...
Do you have one
Sometimes, yes. All right. Okay, Faith is saying she should be able to take risks, display motivation, be open-minded, flexible, creative, goal-oriented, innovative, goal-oriented, people-oriented, risk takers, ambition, self-motivation, goal-oriented, flexibility. Yeah, all those are good, right? So list 4 characteristics you should display as an entrepreneur. Okay, so, all right, so let me, all right, so 4 characteristics that she should display as an entrepreneur. Make sure you spell that word correctly, because I was spelling it wrong for years. This entrepreneur, one of them anyhow. All right, so let's go. So somebody said goal oriented, and we have flexible, risk, willing to take risks, willing to take risks. What else? Let's see, self-motivation. So self-motivated, I like that one. Motivated. Could you do banks too? I'll see what I could get to. Right? Be open-minded. Open. Well, yeah, banking system. Yeah. Open-minded and creative. Flexible and innovative, right? So flexible and innovative. All right, so they asked before we get them about 6 or 8 as a matter of fact there. So let's go from there.
It would be nice if they gave you extra marks.
If they give you extra marks, I don't think that's how it works.
Can you like if you miss a question, but some questions you give more than what they are, still give
Nah, because then people could just study a lot on certain topics and skip out other topics, and then you could just answer what you want to answer. And that's not always going to happen, right? All right, outline each of the following roles of the entrepreneur. Okay. Well, the entrepreneur is responsible for all these things: accessing funds, organizing. So when they say outline each of the following roles, I guess they mean, well, what is it supposed to do? I mean, accessing funds.
Getting capital from banks.
All right. So accessing funds. So that's funds, right? Accessing funds. Let's go, right? So the entrepreneur is responsible for raising or sourcing capital with, right, which to start and maintain the operations of the entity. All right, cool. Yes, so the entrepreneur is responsible, right? When you use the word provide there, Guyana Gamer Network, when you say provide, it implies, or to me, I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm just saying to me, I might think, and I tend to overthink, by the way, so don't take it personally, right? That if you say he or she is responsible for providing the finance, it sounds like it's supposed to come from their personal funds. Now, most times entrepreneurs will have personal funds available to start a business, but oftentimes it will not be sufficient, so they will have to secure financing from other parties like financial institutions, friends, family, other things, right? So various sources, yes. Or I have flexible twice, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. All right, let's just take on this one. All right. So the entrepreneur is responsible for raising or sourcing capital with which to start and maintain. So let's use the word financial capital here, because we know we have physical capital as well, right? Physical capital being the assets, right? In current and non-current assets. Okay, so okay, I'm glad you understand. Right, cool. All right, so the entrepreneurs. So because it's 2 marks, I don't wanna give too much, because they also only give you like 4 lines here, and I know when I type stuff, it comes out smaller than when people write. So yeah, and I tend to be very wordy in or very verbose when I'm explaining stuff.
Isn't that good period?
Was that sorry?
Isn't that period?
What was that? Words?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to use too many words. You don't want to be unnecessarily lengthy in your explanation if you can make it a bit more concise and to the point, because you can write a lot of rubbish, right? Somebody can write a paragraph of rubbish and someone can write a sentence which is worth 5 marks. All right. So accessing funds. All right. Organizing second one. So let's do that one. So organizing.
Being able to plan what the next step is in the business.
Well, all right. So you have to be careful, because a lot of times it's very easy to kind of conflate all the different roles of an entrepreneur manager. And it was planning, organizing, leading, controlling. It was 4 that I learned when I was doing MOB in Form 6. And then all of a sudden they had coordinating, communicating, motivating. They had a whole set.
Yeah.
And like, but hold on, but leading you have motivation, and then in planning, organizing, in controlling, and in the organizing, you have communicating and coordinating. But then like, no, well, they have subtle differences. So yeah, look, these things just kind of expand over time. So just try to be mindful in what you're saying and just be able to explain it. Make sure if you have a definition, I mean, most times the definitions you guys have are correct. Just be careful, right? So what I would say with organizing is there is a planning component to it, but what they usually do is planning is separate from organizing. Planning is setting what you want to do, setting your intentions, and figuring out what you need to accomplish. So setting your goals and figuring out how you're going to achieve them. Organizing is then pulling the factors together, right? Getting all the factors, like what? What are your factors of production? Land, labor, capital, and of course enterprise, right? And you pull them together and you imbue them with purpose. So you assign them tasks and functions to achieve, and you guide them into achieving it. So organizing to me, right? And of course, this is, like I said, there's never one right definition. You can have different interpretations, right? So organizing to me means gathering the factors and giving them purpose and direction and setting them to the task, right? So that could be delegating, as Cough Drop is saying, right? Functions of management, yes. Okay, so organizing means, yeah, that's what the person has as their handle. So gathering the factors of production, or let's say the other factors of production, because the entrepreneur is a factor of production, right? Like job responsibilities, yes, right? Gathering the other factors of production, and what did I say? Assigning them responsibilities and providing them with direction. Do global and technology in business environment. Well, that's what he's saying here. Global and technology in business environment. Global business environment. All right, I'll see.
Business environment is a step in our business plan.
Business environment is a step. Well, I think the business environment is the environment in which the business operates. So you could have, I mean, you have an internal environment and an external one. And external, you have layers, right? You could have your like neighborhood wise or city wise, and you can have country wise, and you can have region, like if it's the Caribbean, or if it's like if you're in Europe, you have Eastern Europe, Western Europe. You can have Asia, Southeast Asia. You can have the Americas, North America, South America. So to me, your environment, and then on top of that, those are physical environments. We also have the virtual environment, which is the internet, right? So we have the business environment is a lot of things you have to consider, all right? Cough drop. So it's assigning responsibility, staffing. That's a good question by Cough drop. When I hear the word staffing, I think basically just employing people and assigning responsibilities. So yeah. I think there's a similarity. I will not dispute that. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, let's take a look at the other question. Oops, the wrong file. I just really click on the thing, you know. I just trying to be fancy and using this triple touch thing on the trackpad. Paul and his partner are seeking to establish a business. For each of the following statements, identify the steps they have taken. Paul came up with an idea to place custom designs on sports cards. Well, I would call that brainstorming. Anybody have a slightly more technical and accurate word for it? Ideation, perhaps?
Yeah.
All right. You're welcome, Wolfram. All right. So, Paul came up with an idea. All right, so what we're going to do, let's just talk these out first and then we'll write them down, right? So, identify the steps taken. So, I think this one could be called advertising. Kevin, are you talking about this same Paul came up with the idea? Is that advertising? I don't think I could agree with that, but if you give me a reason, we could perhaps converse some more. All right. Paul met with his partner and determined how much raw material and capital and how many workers they would need to start. Gregory Lewis says conceptualization for the first one. I think that's a very nice term and a better one than brainstorming, right? So I like that one, Gregory. Business plan, cough drop. That is, okay. Because my first instinct for that step is planning, right? But I actually think that if you look at item 4, the partners created a document which summarized the production, marketing, and financial elements of the business to present to potential investors. I think that one is the business plan, right? Drawing up a business plan, right? So cough drop. I think we could apply business plan to part 4. To part 2, I would say that would simply be planning and identification of resources.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, Selena. Kiyomi, I agree with that one too. All right. So, let's start jotting this down. What is my dog going crazy over now? Oh, the post lady. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. All right, so let's shift that back out there. Let's do that. Okay, so the first one we said was conceptualization, brainstorming. All right. Ideation. The second item was planning, identification of resources, of necessary resources. You want to be very wordy, right? I didn't see number 3. Hold on, let's put number 4. Number 4 was writing up a business plan. And the third one, let me just scroll up here a little bit and then go back to, where was it? Here, okay. Sorry, planning, organizing what? I'm so underprepared. That's all right, Viresh. Research. I'm prepared. Cough drop, me too. I don't worry, guys. You have some time, so you can do some work. Sorry, let's take a look at item 3. The partners went around the community asking people if they would be interested in having custom designs on their cars and how much they'd be willing to pay. Right. Leon, what say you? Right, they went around the community asking people if they would be interested in having custom designs on their cars and how much they'd be willing to pay.
I know the word, I can't remember.
MR. Yes, Kevin, you're correct.
Marketing.
Market something. When you're looking up
research.
market research.
Research.
All right. So conducting market research. Armani, yes, correct. All right. Conducting market research. Actually, I could just put full stops here because it's not like a list I'm continuing. Right, market research. What? All right. Identifying demands. That can work, Everett. Market research. Okay, cool. Where was the paper? All right. So 4, accessing funds. Accessing funds if they went to borrow money, Nicholas. I don't think anything here was the accessing of funds. So you can take a read again when you get a chance. All right. Okay. Describe one key functional area of a business. So, what are your functional areas of business? Right, so you have finance and accounting, production, marketing, human resource, and what did I say? Technology. Because I mean, I don't think anybody could argue that is not a function of business, right? One of the aspects that is key to the business's functioning. And so, what is this truck doing in my? Oh, somebody's towing the car. That's why my dogs are going crazy, right? Accessing funds is like savings, I think. Yeah, okay. All right, but okay, so the functional areas of business. So what I'm gonna do, so let me just the functional areas of business include, all right, so you said production, marketing, finance and accounting, human resource, and we could put IT, ICT, information and communication technology. All right, technology. Yeah, I know it mightn't be a traditional one cough drop, but I sometimes add in extra things that I think make sense. If you don't want to take it, I have no problem. You're free to reject my suggestions. I have no problem with that, right? All right, so now it said describe. So I'm not gonna put a description for each one of those so we could talk them out. All right, so it said describe one key functional area of a business. So let's start with production. How would we describe production? Liam, how would you describe the production function of a business?
Production, I would say.
What is it responsible for?
Well, making products that the business can use.
Right, responsible for the creation of the goods that the business uses, right? For design and is it design or is marketing responsible for design? Design might fall under marketing. Okay, responsible for the creation of the goods that the business supplies or sells.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna just see what's going on outside. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry guys, so just had to make sure not going on the street. You never know what's happening. Had to be aware of what's going on. Manufacturing, transforming of raw materials into finished goods. I like that one. That's a nice one. Okay, and a gaming network.
I see.
Right. Information and communication technology. Like the IT department, basically.
Okay.
Right. You have a social called the IT Crowd. It's an older English series, and it was basically like a parody of how people treat the IT department, right? There was this one episode where anytime somebody calls, the first thing the guy would say, he said, "Oh, look at the IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again?" Because that would be the fix to all IT problems apparently, right? And the management decided, well, look, we need to give we have to send a girl in this department because there's only 2 guys there, so we have to show diversity. So they sent this girl who knew nothing about IT, right? No, I'm not saying girls can't know about IT. That is not true. I'm just saying what the show is saying. So please don't think I'm being sexist, right? Anyhow, and they gave her. They tried to chain her up, right? So they told her this. They gave her like a cupcake box. They said, "Jane, this box is the internet," and she believed them. And she went to some presentation about the internet. Say, "I have the internet," and it fell down and broke, and the whole meeting went crazy. Anyhow, goods or services.
What show is that?
The IT Crowd. It's an older show, right? Anyhow, Guyana Gaming Network or services. You don't really produce services. Actually, yeah, you have to create what you're doing, right? So goods have a physical nature, services have an intangible nature, but you still have to provide it. So you have people who, of course, would provide the service. So yeah, I think production could involve service provision too, right? So marketing. So what? Marketing is a long definition as far as I remember. But how can you guys summarize marketing for me? Liam, what are you thinking? How can we summarize marketing?
Easy. That's looking for what people want, like
Okay.
know what you're going to sell to them, or looking for the right crowd to sell your product.
So the identification of consumer needs and their fulfillment. All right. Finance and accounting. Well, finance is responsible for getting money, and accounting is responsible for tracking it.
Money, that's
Right. So sourcing of the necessary marketing, identify, anticipate, and satisfy customer wants and needs profitably. All right. Identify customer needs and the fulfillment in a profitable manner. I like that one. That's a very complete one, guy, and again, very good. Identifying consumer needs, wants, and determining spending habits to increase sales. That's good too. All right. But check what the guy said below. The conduction, Gregory. I didn't conducting. Be careful with that word because we could try to be a little too fancy sometimes, right? But don't worry, I make that mistake plenty times too. All right. So finance and accounting, right? Responsible for sourcing of the necessary financial capital to maintain operations.
Oh, this guy, the English guy.
What was that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Crystal Dowd here.
Yeah.
Right?
Funny.
And so finance is the sourcing of the necessary financial capital in operations, and the accounting function does what? And performing the necessary bookkeeping.
2Ks.
Yeah, bookkeeping is 2Ks. It's two separate words. Bookkeeping. You keep books.
Oh.
Right? Necessary bookkeeping tasks, as well as the preparation of financial analyses
I spelled that
and reports. Receiving and issuing all payments. That finance is responsible for that too. All right. I should probably put that there. Somehow incorporate that to be a proper definition. Capital. Right. And receiving payments and receiving money and issuing payments. Yes. I have plenty commas and there, boy. Right, so that paragraph is not the most well constructed paragraph. Right, human resource. I think we talked about human resources already when we talked about the human resource manager. So we could say responsible for attracting, developing, and maintaining an effective workforce for the organization. Okay, as a definition, I memorized back in 2002 when I was doing marketing in UP. All right.
People to turn on and turn it off and turn back on again.
Yeah. Right. Guyana Game and Network Human Resources to bring in new employees, look after their matters, and affect the production process. I'm not sure about the last part, but it's not entirely inapplicable. Cough drop. Oh, and may affect. Sorry, and also the second part is it, right? Cough drop, the activity of recruiting, managing employees in a business. Yes, I would say that if you want, you could just take a look at my explanation to be a bit more complete, but I'm not saying you're wrong, right? You have the general idea, right?
ICT.
An ICT or information technology, we can put it in information
That is.
and communication technology.
Ooh,
Right, so it's all of those things, right? So of course, when we talk about information and communication technology, we're talking about, yes, the implementation of things like computers and the use of things like the internet and all these various apps. And I don't know if you guys heard about stuff like blockchain and Salesforce and all kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, I think there's actually a Fatima Old Boy. You ever went in the Old Boy's office in the back? There's on the wall, they have some pictures about this one guy who apparently he helped found Salesforce, I think. So I'm not entirely sure what it is, and I should know.
I feel like Fatima Old Boys association like the Illuminati.
Illuminati, the man say.
Because the tree fell down, and like the next day, the whole tree is just gone. And I'm like,
well, that's why I remember you guys told me about the tree last week, and that was Tuesday. And then Wednesday there was a boy from form 4 here, and I was telling him, yeah, tree fell down. He's like, no tree fell down. I'm like, what do you mean no tree fell down? Anyhow, sorry, we getting distracted. The people on your live, sorry about that, guys. Right, so the Information and Communication Technology Department is responsible for, for the implementation, maintenance, and so you could implement it, maintain it,
And developing.
typing it, but I'm not sure how it applies here. And developing the, I will sub to everybody in the chat. Alright, cool. Then well, I don't want to reuse information and communication technology in the explanation, right?
But it deals with, doesn't it deal with like a website? Sure.
Well, it's not just that, a website is just one aspect of an entire thing that the IT department will do, right? And the IT department, they might be responsible for maintaining it, but in terms of populating it with content, they might have to do that, yes, but they might not be responsible for creating the content.
Oh,
right?
You're not implementing or implementing.
Well, of course they implement, because they are the ones who have to to identify and source what the needs of the company are.
Updating.
Well, that's maintain.
Right? Maintaining better. You can take a development.
Yeah, looking for a third word. So they implement and maintain, right?
The technology used
by
the business in order to
various aspects of technology
enhance the production process.
Used by an entity to, I like that one, to enhance the overall
production of the business.
Productivity.
Yeah.
I spelled that very wrong. Productivity. Sorry, some letter combinations give me some trouble. Organization. All right, yeah. I'm not overly happy with that definition, to be honest, but that'll work. All right, cool.
E.
Is that part E?
Yeah.
Good.
Explain 2 ways in which planning can improve the operation or success of a business.
Sorry, 1 second. Describe 2 challenges that a business could encounter when trying to satisfy its ethical role in the community. All right, let's see if we can answer that one. What is ethics? A code of conduct or behavior, right? Knowing right from wrong, doing right as opposed to doing wrong, right? So 2 challenges that a business could encounter when trying to satisfy its ethical role in the community. Now, ethical role in the community. So a couple of things spring to mind, right? One has to do,
Well, I think I have one. So,
all right.
Let's say like most of the employees employed or women, and let's say half, and they work productivity is cut in half due to maternity leave or something like that.
All right.
So that's one challenge you could face.
All right. So, okay. So the challenge you're saying is that if there's a large female component to the workforce, and they will take time off for maternity leave, right?
So productivity is set back or cut in half. Okay.
All right. So what is the ethical challenge? What is the challenge they face there when trying to satisfy the ethical rule?
Less productivity because you have to give them maternity leave.
All right. I'm looking for something a little more than that though. Now, actually, what you're describing there strikes pretty close to home, because my girlfriend was let go from her job when she was pregnant with her son, right? She got sick and they fired her. And actually, I have another friend that happened to as well. She was working at a marketing company or ad company, and a branding company. And yeah, she got pregnant. She was a little ill, and they fired her. Right. So yeah, I found it to be kind of unethical. But then, I mean, when they explained it, like, well, why should we pay somebody who is sick all the time and cannot work? We need to get the job done, so we hire somebody else.
Oh, that's true. But that's fair. What?
That's fair.
Well, no, it's not fair.
I don't know about it being fair.
You have a child and you have to pay for like all these things and you have no job to do for it.
Right, but I mean, is that the employer's responsibility? That's the question.
Not
Right.
really per se.
Not
Like,
really.
they should have
Okay.
something like in
It's not
place
fair,
for
but
that.
like,
Right. So I mean, that's where
it's understandable.
right. So that's where like national insurance and social security comes in, because you're supposed to have paid maternity leave, right? Which national insurance pays for, right? So the employer is not necessarily paying you, because obviously you can't do work for an employer if you are on maternity leave. You could work while you're pregnant. That's fine, right? I mean, we're talking about back in the days when they still had slaves and or whatever, and people used to be pregnant and picking cotton or picking rice, and that baby drop out, boom, and they pick it up, put it in the backpack, and they go and picking rice. No, there's not. We're not in them days anymore. At least I hope not. You never know, right?
Not in Africa. I'm pretty
Do it
sure.
in Africa. You're pretty sure?
Yeah.
Isn't that a little presumptuous?
Well,
All right. Anyhow, I think we get a little off topic here, but I've seen some interesting things here. Now, one thing they were talking about was pollution, right? So yes, entities that produce, right? For example, if you look across there across the main road, you will see that there's the industrial estate, and at certain points in time, you can see smoke coming up from there. But I mean,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
right? But I mean, that industrial estate is located within a residential area. It's not very far from residences at all, right? The whole of Diamond Vale is there, right? The backdrop of those factories is a hill. So it's not to say, in my opinion, that there's real plenty breeze blowing the smoke away from the thing. So what they had to do was they had to, of course, find some way to minimize their negative impact on the community, right? And of course, that would cost them money, because it's very easy not to do anything and implement production setups where you can just pollute, right? But of course, it takes more time, more effort, and more money to put things in place. But of course, that is their ethical challenge, right? That is a challenge they face in fulfilling the ethical rule, right? Not polluting while trying to maintain profitability, right? The other one is, for example, the same industrial estate, right? They obviously would have big delivery trucks coming in and out according to what it is they're producing, right? And big delivery trucks could cause a hazard for people who use the road, not so? Because it could cause traffic, which is a nuisance, right? So what they have to do therefore is find a way around that. Now the thing is, one way around it is to make delivery during nighttime. Now if we ignore for a second that it could cause noise during the night when people are sleeping, it will of course take those cars off the road during the negative externalities. Yeah, hey Emir, what's going on? Right, it will take those big trucks off of the road during peak traffic hour, which will lessen the traffic, right? But of course, if you have to pay someone to work between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., you're going to have to pay them overtime, which is going to cost more money, right? So most of the biggest challenges they face.
That counts as overtime.
Yeah, it is overtime,
Morning.
right? Unless of course it's somebody who just on a totally different clock, right? Like you're bringing somebody from halfway around the world who will be up at that point anyway you take it, right? But yes, Javon, how are you doing? Right, so negative externalities is an economic term. Well, no, remember, I mean, like for example, Australia is like 14 hours ahead. So right now in Australia, it is, was at 1:30 in the morning, right? So basically that person could come here and wake up like, let's say 9 p.m. our time and be like, like 7 a.m. for them, you understand? So they could just basically go whole day, they could work any night here and feel normal. I mean, it would be kind of weird because they need, of course, the sunlight to make things normal, but you could get around those things like ultraviolet lights. Anyhow, sir, am I an accountant? If so, where do someone who wants to get one have to go to study? Okay, first of all, I'm not a trained accountant. I did accounting up to A levels. I studied some in university. If you want to learn more about accounting, check out Google ICAT, ICATT, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Trinidad and Tobago. You can look up IASB.org, IFRS.org, Goldfish, morning Goldfish, right? Look up ACCA. As a matter of fact, Corp dropped ACCA because I was considering doing the ACCA. The worldwide accepted accounting qualification, the most popular one is ACCA. Check that one out, right? You're bound to have people or a chapter in your country. I don't know where you are. If you're in Trinidad, they have a chapter down here. I know people who are ACCA qualified, so you could definitely get more information on that, all right?
You just say he's an accountant.
No, you asked me if I'm an accountant.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't say I'm accountant.
Right. Somebody said price. He has gorging, but I think he wanted to say gouging. GOU. Right, Nick? So yeah. So we talked about the pollution in the manufacturing process,
Kiyomi said increase expenses and employees. Right. Sorry, Gregory was saying that. My bad. Right. Yes.
Hey, Cam finish with it.
Chem finish?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Closing.
Chem is what, 2 hours 40?
Oh, no, that was a mess again.
Yeah, I think Chem is, yeah.
Hopefully, we will solve it.
Yeah, the boss out early. All right. Okay, so let's see if we could cough drop. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Right. Explain 2 ways in which planning can improve the operation or success of a business. All right. So first of all, what is planning?
Knowing what you're going to do.
Right. Setting your intentions, and that way you know what you're going to do. Setting your goals and how you plan to achieve them. Right. Planning is not just right now. I want to do this. No, you have to know how you're going to do it. Right. So the first thing a plan helps us to do is to verbalize or to get written down on paper, to have as a hard copy what we want to do and how we want to do it. So we know what we want to do, and therefore that acts as a guide to action. That's the first thing, a guide to action. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. Right? So if you know where you're going, you know what you have to do and what you should not be doing in order to achieve your objective. Right? Ready to swim through this PoB paper tomorrow. Alright, goldfish? I'm glad to hear that. So
This is goldfish, that's what he said, swim.
Right? So 2 reasons
Oh my God,
that planning can help. It's 2 reasons. I want it properly, right? 2 ways in which planning can improve the operation or success, right? So 2 ways, right?
Where's the C Brown? I mean, I need to
No, I didn't see it. Can improve the operation or success of a business. 1. So what did we say? So planning, it acts. So planning acts as a guide to action, as it helps us to know what we want to do and how best to accomplish that goal or those goals. Right? So planning acts as a guide to action, as it helps us to know what we want to do and how best to accomplish that goal or those goals. So this can help an organization streamline its processes and avoid unnecessary wastage of resources. Sounds good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody on the live wanna chuck in an extra anything else about planning? There's a little 10-15 second delay, so I'll give you all a few seconds. Thanks you. All right, Blue Diamond. Cool. Anybody follow? All right, so what's the question? Okay, Blue Diamond is asking what the question is. Let's go back to the question so she could see. All right. Explain 2 ways in which planning can improve the operation or success of a business. That's the question, Blue Diamond, right? So the first thing we said is that planning acts as a guide to action. It helps us to know what we want to do and how we are going about accomplishing that goal. And in that way, it can help us to focus in on specific valuable actions and to try to avoid things that may be wasting time and resources, right? Defines goals, right? So yes, defining your goal helps to make it understandable and knowing what to achieve and how to achieve it, right? It wouldn't be just to say defining goals and to say why that is a good thing, right? Shouldn't planning help business future-proof? Future-proof is a nice word. I like that you use it, right? Planning, will planning help to future-proof per se? It could. I don't think it is impossible for it to do so. But what does future-proof mean? Anybody knows what future-proofing means?
Future-proof.
Planning helps set goals. So setting goals is important, but you have to go a little further than that. So let me go back to my thing there so you can take a look and see what it is. It makes long-term goals easier, does it? Easier to accomplish because it sets out a strategy, Virish. All right, so make sure to not just say, this the 1 mark part. They had to say the extra part. Sorry. So future proofing is basically trying to set yourself up so you are not as affected or displaced by future events as someone who is not prepped for it, right? So for example, a very simple example, right? Maybe a bit too simplistic. If we know there's a hurricane coming, right? Or we know hurricane season is coming, we mightn't wait until the day before when they actually announce, hey, Ollie, a hurricane hitting tomorrow, to do what? Go to the grocery, buy your canned goods, buy your water, right? So they have some people, I mean, if you guys have cable, and sometimes they have these doomsday planners, you ever heard about them? So these doomsday planners apparently are convinced the apocalypse is coming soon. So they go and they raid in all the groceries and buying up all the goods and stuff and have underground bunkers stocked with stuff, and it's real intense for some of them. And
so cool.
and they train their family in survival training. They train them in like bow and arrow and cooking like wild meat and thing, and starting fires and survival tactics like Bear Grylls and these people.
Nah, I can't.
Well, you never know where you could until you really have to do it, right? Okay, so let me just jot down a quick item here because I know we just finished 2 questions out of 5, and it's almost close to 12, right? Yes, okay. So we'll cut off at about 12:15 for lunch, and we'll start back at about 1. And I'm very glad that the live is flowing well today. No big side of sticking. It was real frustrating for me for a little bit because I was annoyed by it. But they came and they changed the modem yesterday, and even though it was still it was still sticking, so I had to change something in the software, the OBS settings. I'm on here while I meet. All right, so sorry, let's finish this question quickly and see if we could answer question 3 before we break for lunch, right? So, all right, another way planning can help is to get us back on track if things go wrong, right? So planning can help get back on track in the event that unforeseen circumstances arise and cause us to deviate from our intended path. Everyone in the trap, drop your IG. I hope you follow me, right? Adapt tuition, right? So planning can help get back on track, right? So, for example, if there was a natural disaster that destroyed a warehouse and goods, right? Company could more quickly get back on track if it had a plan and knew the steps it took to establish and stock the warehouse. Yeah, I'm not entirely happy with that answer, guys, but all right, cool. Yeah. Yeah. Look at questions, right? So before we go to questions, let me see if I can maybe reword that part. I don't like that, to be honest. I don't. Hey Garish, how you doing? On the IG. All right, cool. Anyway, the only real practical application is let me rephrase that. The one that's sticking out in my brain is, for example, with me when I'm supposed to be eating better than I currently am, and I have a plan. But sometimes, for example, during exam season, I do quadruple classes a day. So normally I have a double class a day. When it's exam season, I have 4. So it's a lot harder to get things done for myself when I don't have much time to do so. So now when exam season is done, I could go back on my plan, right? And as a matter of fact, if I had a plan for exam season, which I thought I did, right? I could have followed that plan, or at least try to get back to it. Another benefit of planning is that it shows you what may not work. If you set a plan and it's not working, do you stick with that plan or change it? Change it, right? So planning could also... Unless
it's your fault the plan is not working.
Well, then the plan does not work. I agree. You could have... if you have a lack of discipline, a lack of consistency, then you had to pick up your slack, right? The plan could be a very good plan, very easy plan, but it will not work unless you do, long story short. All right. Okay. Cool. Okay. Let's take a look at question 3, as Liam is saying.
Look at productivity, right?
Yeah.
So in mock they asked me,
Uh-huh.
define the term productivity. I said productivity is the level of input and output put in by employees and the business. Is that wrong?
It's not completely right.
But
The articulation does not fully help you to help someone reading it to understand what productivity is.
So I can use the 1 mark for that.
You see, I don't know. It depends on the teacher. Repeat it again. You said productivity is what?
The level of input and output produced by the employee for the business.
Well, the businesses don't produce inputs, They take inputs and convert them to outputs. So maybe that, so like I said, maybe you know what you wanted to say. It's just that the way you articulated that was not the best way and didn't yield the best marks.
I know what I'm saying, but like, you're not afraid.
Yeah, you know what you want to say, you just don't know how to say it. All right, okay. So let's start with production first. All right, so define each of the following terms: production and productivity.
Is the output?
Cough is correct. Hold on, So this is, sorry. Part 1, right? So production is the creation of a good from inputs. Long story short, I don't see. Sir, can you do OA tomorrow? OA, I don't do OA. Sorry. As office administration.
The creation of goods from raw materials.
Creation of goods from raw materials, the creation of outputs from inputs. Right? The amount of progress. Emir, production encompasses all the activities in converting raw materials into finished products for resale and in good fat. Emir gone real fancy there, boy. What? Yeah, Emir, you get 3 out of 2 for that one. Productivity is a measure of output per unit of input. Correct. Production creation, that's correct. Oh, that's right. That's in the econ textbook. Production is the creation of a good from inputs. Or production is the conversion of inputs, into outputs. Let me read what Emir say again there, boy. I'll scroll back up on the chat, boy. I come up with that on the spot, yes? Alright, Emir is our boss. Production encompasses all the activities in converting raw materials into finished products for resale and the management of said goods. I like it. To satisfy human needs and wants. I like cough drop addition there, right? To satisfy needs and wants. That is actually something, that's a very good addition at the end there. Creation or manufacturing of a good or service form protocol. I didn't notice that. Emir, wait, this question didn't come before. This question has come many times, right? All right. 2, productivity.
A measure of efficiency of a business and how well it is using its inputs to produce output. All
right. So a measure of efficiency, and it measures how well the business is using its inputs to create outputs. Yes? Okay. So productivity is simply defined as output per time period, but is really considered as the ratio of outputs, of outputs to inputs, or how well a business uses a given level of resources to produce. Sorry?
Like, that's how it is. Like I said, like,
yeah. The power beating around the bush, man, say. Be careful with that, You beat around a bush, a snake might fly out. Anyhow, all right. So productivity is simply defined as output per time period. I thought product is output per unit of input. That's not what I have? Yeah? Outputs and inputs, how well a business uses a given level of resources. Yeah, different ways they can articulate it. All right. Okay. Yeah. So Leo, the production is the creation of output with inputs, whereas productivity is how well you use those inputs to create outputs. For example, a very basic example is, let's say let's say we sat down and did this paper from start to finish, and let's say Annika finished the paper in an hour and a half, but you took, let's say, 2 hours. She was more productive than you. Let's assume it was the same amount of writing and everything, right? So she just wrote faster, right? Let's say, however, you took 2 hours, she took 2 hours, but you scored, let's say, 89% and she scored 71%. You were more productive in terms of how much marks, because in the same time period, the same amount of resources, right? If we assume fixed knowledge for both of you guys on the same amount of time, you achieve more with the same than did she. All right. POB is common sense. Now, be careful when you're saying that common sense is only common sense in a context, right? What I mean by that is if you all were living somewhere in some country where you didn't have much technology and you had to live by learning to light fires and hunt in the bush, right? Common sense might be, don't use this piece of bush to wipe your water when you poop because it's a stinging nettle and it will scratch like hell. Here, we're not going to know which one is which, all right? Similarly, for example, common sense, when some of the girls are here and they're borrowing my charger to charge your phone, but they have it bent back so whole time. I'm like, common sense would dictate if you do this, you're going to short out the cord, right? But of course, common sense is not as common as one thinks. If it were truly common, more people would have it, right? But common sense is common sense in a context. It's always contextual, all right? Okay, true. POB is common sense in a business form. I like that one, Faith, right? Some questions. All right, the definitions. Javon, what's he seeing? What is he seeing? Goldfish. All right. Okay, so production and productivity we have. Let's take a look at the rest of the question. All right, identify 2 factors that can affect the supply of labor to a business. Supply of labor. Anybody, anything? All right, 2 factors. Let me tell you. So while I'm typing, you all can think about it. 2 factors. You know, Zing me. You're using Z instead of S because it's a Zessa word. All right, 2 factors that can affect the supply of labor are water power. POA is common sense. All right, Goldfish, if you think so, I'm glad you think so. Anyhow, all right. The first thing I would say, so Guyana Game Network says wages. Wages would affect it. I would agree. Telecommunication networks only existed on these ends. All right. Goldfish is a bad man. All right. Anyhow, so 2 factors. So one that strikes me is the school leaving age. The school leaving age. Right? If you can only be employed when you leave school and have qualifications, right? If, for example, the government says, look, we will do compulsory education up to primary school, and after 11, 12 years old, you can go and work, right? So when people finish SEA and they're like, hey, I want a job working in the grocery, all right, cool, you have a supply of labor, right? It might not be well-trained labor, but you'll have a supply, right? If they say, government say, hey, what? Everybody needs to stay in school and become a doctor, so people will not be leaving school until they are 32 years old. Now, what you've done is you've extended the school leaving age by about 14 years, right? So now people who are business owners had to wait 14 years to get people to work with them. You understand what I'm saying?
Does that mean you don't finish with like now finish?
Yep. All right. The school leaving age. All right. Sorry, wait. I seen something on the education, right? The supply, right? The availability of quality education and training. Yeah, I agree with that. Motivational factors, intrinsic and extrinsically, I'm not sure. I would not discount that because mental illness, right? Depression is a real thing, and people who are depressed have difficulty functioning. So I would say health. I would say physical, mental, and emotional health. The level of physical, mental, and I like my Oxford commas, right? emotional health care, all right, available. All right, unskilled workers. Shania, hi Shania, how you doing? Didn't realize you were on the live. Glad to see you. All right. Unskilled workers, right? If you brain drain, migration, right? Migration. Well, remember there's a big overlap between PoB and econ. They are not separate subjects, eh? All right, migration or brain drain. What else could affect the supply of labor? Labor force. Labor force could affect the supply of labor. Well, FB scored. All right. Conflict among members may apply. Oh, and now I understand what you're saying, do that, man. Conflict among members will affect the supply of labor. Well, I mean, if it's like the Dothraki in Game of Thrones, I mean just killing men because, hey, I could kill you, and yeah, they were supply affected. But I'm not sure in a conventional setting. Actually, no, you may have a point there because sometimes if people are not getting along, people may quit.
I want to.
Yeah. All right. Okay. But I'm not sure that's the whole supply of labor. Oh yeah, we forget to order food. Food? What you wanted?
I could go to KFC.
You could go KFC. How we have a car?
Oh no, like
Oh,
KFC,
okay. You gotta get food, or you?
Yeah.
You're supposed to order.
Yeah.
All right. Right.
I'll try to double down.
I ruined Game of Thrones for nobody. Disabilities. Actually, Nicholas, I was not gonna talk about that.
Just what you think about double down?
Yes, no.
That is not.
So somebody here has mentioned disabilities, right? So if a company is outfitted to accommodate workers who are of different abilities.
Like disabilities.
Sorry, the phone ring. Oh, look at it.
Oh, that's what I mean by
Hello? Right. So for example, if it's as simple as somebody is in a wheelchair, all right, working conditions and environment, faith, yes. So if the working conditions or environment are not accommodating to people of different abilities, for example, if you don't have wheelchair ramps for people who are wheelchair bound to access the office, and if you don't have a working elevator so they could go to different floors, then you have limited your supply of labor. Because just because
so people who are disabled who would like to work here, but
right,
you don't have the equipment.
Exactly. Even people who are visually impaired, they can still work, right? All Microsoft things have accessibility options. So the computers could read out the things to them and they could type it back or talk it back to them. Exactly, right?
Oh, yeah,
so right, so whether or not the company is outfitted to accommodate people who have different abilities. So we can put people who are differently able, sorry. So I'm not talking about X-Men, they have different abilities, right? Who are differently able. Yes, that's the politically correct too. They can't say they're handicapped or they're crippled, they can't say them things no more, right? It's not kind. Right? Yeah, wheelchair bound. Alright. What happened? Oh, look at it. Ah, yeah, there you do it. Alright, there. You finishing soon? Well, you're not in class, you're studying. Alright, cool. Yeah, she home. Alright, economic growth. Economic growth is the increase in the productive capacity of the real income per capita. I don't know. I mean, ultimately that might affect labor supply. I would say maybe more economic development, but economic growth and development kind of go hand in hand. Okay, all right. I can't type out all. Wages being offered. Wages. I think wages is a demand for labor, you know. But demand could affect supply.
No, wages can affect labor, supply of labor.
If you don't have wages is the price of labor, right? If the price you are willing to pay is not sufficiently high, the people supply may not supply. Yeah. So wages is the price of labor. What will you want? Hello, good morning. Hi. No, she's not at the moment. Can I take a message? That's correct. Listen. Christopher. Aye. Oh, okay, cool. Sorry. All right, sorry guys. People calling my home phone and people not answering upstairs.
I really called.
Yeah. I realize they are, but they're taking long to answer the phone. All right, sorry. Yeah, no, you're tripping through, boy. Employee turnover. What do they want? Yeah. Unplug that phone. I can't plug it, but they might upstairs might call for me to do some stuff, and I had to answer that one, right? But yeah, sorry. Employee turnover is like the rate at which you hire and fire employees.
Oh.
Right? I don't know that affect the overall supply of labor. It might affect the supply of labor for a company per se. Alright?
No,
Mm-hmm.
okay, employee can't affect it because you're not gonna fire people willy-nilly and then realize, oh wait, I'm going to hire.
Well, that's not what you say. Alright, well let's this question taken long. I agree with them. So let's move on, right? Describe 2 factors that can influence the productivity of labor. That's 4 marks. Alright. So productivity of labor, let me hear earlier.
I'm stumped.
We just defined productivity, did we not?
Yeah.
That can influence. I want to know if influence had to do influenza. Product.
Of course it does.
Right. 2 factors that can influence the productivity of labor are working conditions,
Oh, yeah.
technology, right?
Easy for mom, so.
What up? Amy, let me get back to you now when we try to finish this question and break for lunch, and then we can answer that stuff after. Working conditions, yes. So working conditions. Now let me just see something.
Rate of pay.
Describe 2 factors, and for 4 marks means you have to give not just list it, but you have to explain it too. Right? Working conditions, right? If working conditions are poor, productivity might be low. Might be lower than if conditions were better. Better working conditions, working hours, better wages, specialization, right? So that's processes, right? What might mean by the way? Delay is one. All right, cool. Working conditions, the rate, the REAT, right? Rate of pay. Or we could be a little more fancy. We could say compensation. All right. So if workers believe that they are being adequately compensated, they are likely to be more productive than if they perceived. There's an I in perceived. Perceive the opposite. Unskilled workers can lower productivity due to them having to be taught certain things. Yes. Telecommunication networks, technology, yes. Citizens would have a higher solution as they buy more goods and services. Solution was the way they wanted to put. Morale, communication, relationship, all those things. Yes, I agree with all those things. The level of education or training. I won't explain that one. We just want to drop down a few points. We want to finish this question because it's 12:08, right? So we're breaking for lunch in about 5-10 minutes, guys. Level of training. The relationship with management. We could say the culture of the organization. Right. So what about how the job treats the workers? Right.
Kate said hi, huh?
Who's that?
Kate.
Kate. Oh, what's she doing?
In school.
Oh, she's in school. All right, cool. Tell her hi. Tell her see her tomorrow. How the job treats the workers. So that could be interaction with management or the culture. Yeah. Increasing standard of living. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. So just one more very quick. The workers' personal life and standard of living. Alright, health. Yeah, sorry, I rushed in. Yep, Blue Diamond, that's what I said. I put it there. I put it there because you said it. I wanted to include your answer. I'm not teething it. Right? Leadership style management, right? Relationship with management. Email like that one, / management style. Culture one. Okay. Alright guys, we gotta skip to the next question. Alright. Differentiate between subsistence production and domestic production. All right, let's just talk these last two up because we really need to break for lunch very quickly. All right, subsistence production is producing for one's own needs, right? Whereas domestic production is producing for almost the entire country at large. Yeah, that dog crazy. Yeah. All right, so subsistence. I tried to get a 1 or 2. Yeah, try. Yeah. 39 out of 14 years. That's a pretty good one, boy. All right. Okay. So subsistence. So yeah. So anybody on the line wanna jump in about subsistence or domestic? Right. So like I said, subsistence production is producing for one's own needs, right? Whereas domestic production is producing for the country as a whole. All right. That dog, yeah, Javon. Is Javon or Javon? I'll say Javon for now, right? Total, nice. Yeah, that dog. Sorry? No, that's my upstairs doggy, right? That dog crazy, right? So subsistence production is producing for one's own needs, whereas domestic production is producing for the country as a whole. All right. So one is more on a personal level, whereas one is on a national level. All right. Explain one positive and one negative impact on a business which result from improvements in technology. One positive impact. Let me hear you.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could have more people like from abroad or whatever, like buying from your
All right. Dan, I think Janice after the call, eh? All right. All right, cool. Feed him shrimp. Feed the dog shrimp. Not my dog.
Feed
And I
dog
guess
shrimp.
like more like information on like your business and like
Right. So one positive aspect. Right. So Kevin is saying production would increase. So if you employ technology in if you employ production in the technology in the production aspect, you could improve the rate of production, rate of productivity. You could create more with time. You could improve your workflow, right? More productivity, less human labor, right? So you can improve your workflow. So your workers, right? If you give them proper technology and proper training, and of course motivate them correctly, then you could definitely ensure that they work faster, right? For example, when I did, like last year, I did a few online courses for Excel and Word and stuff, and it drastically improved my abilities. So I was able to create more in a lot less time, and actually create things that I did not know how to create before, right? So proper technology could improve the quality and quantity of your output, right, from the workers. You were talking about online, having a presence online, right? As we all know, the internet is worldwide. It is global. It is quote unquote making the world smaller. Somebody in Indonesia could be streaming this class right now. Somebody in Australia too, right?
Probably not one of them.
Well, I don't know. Maybe right?
from Jamaica and Barbados.
Wait, Coach Prince is in China.
Yeah, he is. All right, Blue Diamond, I like what you're saying. Decker, crap, I'm late. Should make sure to leave the live show. Yeah. Once I disconnect, it uploads, it processes. It takes about a half hour to process, and then it will be available there probably by after lunch. All right. Domestic level of production where they may have a location all over the country, satisfying most citizens. All right. What time I starting back? I would say in about an hour, Kiyomi, right? Because we breaking for lunch a little late. We don't want to shortchange the people who want to have lunch, right? But I might start back streaming just to have it up from about 1 o'clock, right? Jay in the building, boy. Jaden, how you doing? All right. So positive impact. You can have an online presence which could improve your sales revenue because you can sell to more people more easily. So people don't have to physically come to your store. They can pull up your website, and if you have the proper architecture in place, e-commerce, exactly, right? Okay, negatives. Right, dependence on capital investment. Yes, implementing technology. Thanks, Guyana Gaming. Right, implementing tech can be very expensive.
Yes, and if you have a website, if the website goes down, no sales.
Right, and if you do have, if you, correct. So the first thing we said was that it's a very expensive proposition to implement, to maintain, and to train your people, right? Second, as you guys correctly said, if your website goes down or somebody hacks it, it could leave you vulnerable, right? So you are vulnerable to attack. Why would they call him house? No. They just leave anyway, they're not home. Shut. Sorry, right. Amazon, right, like Amazon, right. So another point we were talking about was somebody said more technology could displace people. There are actually a couple documentaries you guys should take a look at. I can't remember the names right now. There's one on HBO, one on you know Vice News.
Yeah.
Right. Vice News did one recently about the displacement of human capital. And it's very interesting. You all should take a look at that one. Right? Yeah, because especially on the live here, on a serious talk, you all need to look at those things because and the same complaint you all have about why you're learning what you're learning, right? You all need to figure out what you all need to know to be employable or to be productive and earn money within the next 5-10 years. Because the rate at which technology is advancing is crazy with artificial intelligence and deep learning and machine learning. You know, yeah, there's almost nothing that they can't do. Even
like the iPhone will be like
yeah, they even
They have like the projection.
Yeah.
When you FaceTime.
Right.
You can let you like see somebody.
Right. Okay. Another negative aspect of technology in business is that right, when we talked about being vulnerable to hacking, yeah, we talked about displacement of human capital. What is another negative aspect apart from that on cost? Well, we said just to yeah, actually, I was going to say that exact same thing. Just to re-emphasize, the cost of maintaining those things is high, right? For example, like 9 years ago, that was the first laptop there. And if it wasn't for the fact that it was kind of running slow, I would probably still be using it, right? But you have to maintain and update because, like I said, if I was still using that, I probably could be live streaming now because the processor on that is kind of old.
Next thing you know, the whole thing crashing.
Exactly, right? So it's expensive to upgrade and maintain. Like for example, those watching live, right? I watch them myself. You understand? So yeah, to have 2 laptops in play. Alright? Effective, faster communication. That was a simple one. How I forget that one? Thank you, Emir. Right? But yeah, all those things, even not using my phone as my network, as my internet camera. So when I had to write and stuff, yeah. So all these things cost real money and to maintain. And after 2-3 years, you had to buy a new one. Right? So yeah, it's an expensive proposition.
But
yeah.
YouTube channel, like, go big. YouTube will pay you.
Yeah, well, you had a.
Eventually.
Alright, you really sent up for 2 minutes. Alright, sorry, Amir. I can't work here. There's this question from our party which I need help with. Shalini. Alright, Shalini. So you can put the number, which question number? Right? Income good, right? It takes real 27 to do that and real 20 hours of working. So income good, yeah, but so you had to upgrade to keep up with the demanding application demands. I agree, Goldfish. Alright. Folks, we are going to break for lunch. When we come back after lunch, we could take a look at the rest of this paper. We also have Jan 2019, right? So I want to thank everybody who's on the live, all 28 or more who came and went, and 5.5 messages a minute. I am very happy and grateful for that, for the interaction, right? And for you all help me pull up my socks on some of the rusty answers I was given, right? So can we do at least 3 past papers where we finishing one here when we start? So we're gonna try and start at 1 o'clock. So what do you want? No. Right. So like I was saying, what we're gonna do is we're gonna break for lunch now. Try and start at 1 o'clock. By 1:15 for sure. And what we'll do is we'll talk through the questions. So I won't type them out anymore because that was taking some time. Right? I thought my speed was up to par. Clearly we can move faster if we don't type stuff, but we need to write stuff down. You all need to write stuff down, right? Anyhow, the 4 P's of marketing.
Price.
Number 1, parts. Yeah, actually, when we come back on
Promotion.
1 o'clock, remind me. We'll take a look because I definitely wanna check out 2019 January. But sometimes it's good to check out those older papers for sure, right? Yes, Goldfish. Leave me alone. I Calypso Rosert. All right, guys. So I'm signing off for the live here. So look out for the notification that I sign back in, and I hope to see you all there. Price, product, promotion, please. Lovely. All right, guys. Peace.